Welcome back to Gone Legends. Today, we take a moment to honor and remember three extraordinary American stars whose recent passing has left a lasting impact on the worlds of music, television, and film. Their lives were filled with creativity, struggle, triumph, and legacy. Though they are gone, their influence lives on through the art and inspiration they gave us. Make sure to subscribe to Gone Legends and join us as we pay tribute in detail. Treat Williams, born Richard Treat Williams on December 1, 1951, in Rowayton, Connecticut, was a versatile and gifted actor whose career spanned stage, film, and television. Over the course of nearly 5 decades, he built a reputation as one of the most dependable and respected performers of his generation. His passing in June 2023, at the age of 71, following a tragic motorcycle accident in Vermont, shocked Hollywood and left fans mourning the loss of a truly remarkable talent. Williams grew up in a small Connecticut town that fostered his creativity and independence. His father, Richard Norman Williams, was a corporate executive, while his mother, Marion, was a housewife. The family valued education, discipline, and hard work, qualities that Treat carried with him throughout his life. He attended Kent School, a private boarding school in Connecticut, where he was both an athlete and a performer. His interest in the arts blossomed during these formative years, particularly in acting and music. After graduating, Treat pursued higher education at Franklin and Marshall College in Pennsylvania. There, he further developed his love for performance, participating in school theater productions. It was clear early on that he possessed a unique stage presence, a blend of charisma, sincerity, and emotional depth that drew audiences in. Upon finishing college, he trained professionally, dedicating himself to honing his craft and preparing for the challenges of an acting career. Treat Williams began his professional career on stage, appearing in regional theater and eventually making his way to Broadway. He was cast in the iconic musical Grease, where he played Danny Zuko. His performances were electrifying, and the show allowed him to showcase both his acting and singing abilities. This experience on Broadway helped launch him into the world of film. His big break came in 1979 when director Milos Forman cast him as George Berger in the film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical Hair. Treat's magnetic performance as the free-spirited, rebellious Berger captivated audiences and critics alike. The role demanded not only acting skill but also a powerful musical presence, and Williams delivered both with authenticity and energy. Hair catapulted him to stardom and made him one of Hollywood's rising talents of the late 1970s. Following the success of Hair, Treat Williams took on a wide variety of roles that demonstrated his versatility. In 1981, he starred in Sidney Lumet's Prince of the City, playing Danny Cielo, a New York police officer caught in a web of corruption and betrayal. His intense, emotionally charged performance earned him critical acclaim, including a Golden Globe nomination. The film remains one of the most defining works of his career, showcasing his ability to handle complex, morally ambiguous characters. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Williams appeared in films such as Once Upon a Time in America, 1984, Flashpoint, 1984, and Dead Heat, 1988. He brought depth and humanity to every role, whether playing a cop, a soldier, or an everyman caught in extraordinary circumstances. Though he never became a blockbuster superstar, Treat earned a reputation as an actor who elevated every project he was a part of. His colleagues often described him as professional, generous, and utterly committed to his craft. While Treat Williams made his mark in film, it was television that cemented his place in the hearts of millions. In 2002, he was cast as Dr. Andrew Brown in the critically acclaimed WB series Everwood. The show told the story of a widowed brain surgeon who moves his family to a small town in Colorado to start a new life. Williams' portrayal of Andy Brown was heartfelt, vulnerable, and deeply moving. His ability to balance the character's grief, humor, and humanity resonated with viewers, making Everwood a beloved family drama. Williams received widespread praise for his work on the show, earning Screen Actors Guild and Golden Globe nominations. For many fans, Everwood represented the peak of his career, as it allowed him to connect with audiences on an intimate, emotional level week after week. In the years that followed, Williams continued to work steadily in both film and television. He appeared in shows such as Chicago Fire, Blue Bloods, and Chesapeake Shores, often playing roles that highlighted his natural authority and warmth. His film appearances included supporting roles in projects like 127 Hours, 2010, directed by Danny Boyle, where he played the father of James Franco's character. Treat's career was defined not by chasing fame but by a consistent dedication to storytelling. He often chose projects based on their meaning rather than their commercial potential, and this integrity made him beloved in the industry. He had the rare ability to disappear into any role, bringing authenticity whether he was on a Broadway stage, in a Hollywood drama, or on a family television series. Beyond acting, Treat Williams was a man of many passions. He was an avid pilot, earning his pilot's license and often flying his own planes. Aviation was one of his greatest joys, giving him freedom and perspective. He was also passionate about the outdoors, particularly life in Vermont, where he lived with his family for many years. He valued community, nature, and the simplicity of rural life, often expressing gratitude for being able to step away from Hollywood and enjoy a grounded existence. Treat married Pam Van Sant in 1988, and together they raised 2 children, Gil and Ellie. Family was central to his life, and he often spoke of how much joy and balance his wife and children brought him. His role as a husband and father was just as important to him as his work on stage and screen. Treat Williams' sudden death in June 2023 was a devastating loss to the entertainment world. Tributes poured in from colleagues and fans alike, who remembered him not just for his performances but also for his kindness, humility, and professionalism. He may not have sought the spotlight in the same way some of his contemporaries did, but his legacy is one of integrity, talent, and quiet greatness. He leaves behind a body of work that reflects his range and dedication. From the rebellious energy of Hare to the moral struggles of Prince of the City, to the tender heart of Everwood, Treat Williams gave audiences characters that felt real, complex, and deeply human. Treat Williams was more than just an actor. He was a storyteller, a family man, and a soul who lived with passion and authenticity. His career may not have always been the loudest, but it was rich, meaningful, and lasting. In remembering him, we honor a man who embodied the very best of what it means to be an artist and a human being. Rest in peace, Treat Williams. Your light will continue to shine through the stories you told and the lives you touched. Tony Bennett, born Anthony Dominic Benedetto on August 3, 1926, in Queens, New York, was one of the most enduring and beloved voices in American music. His career spanned more than 7 decades, earning him a place not only in the history of jazz and pop music but in the hearts of fans worldwide. Known as the master of the American songbook, Bennett's smooth, elegant voice and timeless interpretations of classic songs made him a cultural icon. His death in July 2023, at the age of 96, marked the end of a chapter in music history, but his songs and legacy will live forever. Anthony Benedetto grew up during the Great Depression in the working-class neighborhood of Astoria, Queens. His father, John Benedetto, was a grocer who died when Tony was just 10 years old, leaving his mother, Anna, to raise Tony and his siblings. The family struggled financially, but Tony found solace in art and music. From a young age, he displayed a gift for both painting and singing. He sang in church choirs and performed at local events, often imitating his idols like Bing Crosby and Louis Armstrong. World War II interrupted Tony's youth. Drafted into the U.S. Army in 1944, he served as an infantryman in France and Germany. He endured the horrors of frontline combat and later helped liberate a concentration camp. These experiences profoundly shaped his worldview and deepened his appreciation for life, art, and humanity. After the war, he studied voice at the American Theater Wing, using the GI Bill, and began to pursue a professional singing career. Tony began performing under the name Joe Barry in nightclubs around New York. His big break came when comedian Bob Hope discovered him in 1949 and suggested he change his stage name to Tony Bennett. Under that name, Bennett signed with Columbia Records and released his first hit single, Because of You, in 1951. The song quickly climbed to #1 on the charts, staying there for 10 weeks. His follow-up hits, including Cold, Cold Heart, and Rags to Riches, cemented his reputation as one of the most promising young vocalists of the era. As the 1950s progressed, Bennett's smooth baritone and heartfelt delivery made him a favorite of audiences and critics alike. He was often compared to contemporaries like Frank Sinatra, but Bennett carved out his own style, rooted in sincerity and elegance. He wasn't just singing notes, he was telling stories, and listeners felt the emotion in every word. In 1962, Bennett recorded what would become his signature song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. Written by George Corey and Douglas Cross, the song captured the wistful beauty of longing and nostalgia. Bennett's recording won 2 Grammy Awards and became his defining anthem. The song resonated across generations, and to this day, it is inseparable from Tony Bennett's name. The late 1960s and 1970s brought challenges for Bennett. The rise of rock and roll pushed traditional pop singers out of the spotlight, and Bennett's career faltered. He faced financial struggles, a painful divorce, and battles with substance abuse. At one point, he nearly lost everything. But true to his resilient nature, Bennett fought back. With the help of his sons, Danny, who became his manager, and Day, a recording engineer, he revitalized his career in the late 1970s and 1980s by returning to his roots, the Great American Songbook. Performing jazz standards and classic ballads in intimate settings, Bennett reminded audiences of the timeless beauty of this music. He regained critical acclaim, and younger generations discovered him through television appearances and live concerts. Unlike many artists of his era, Bennett never chased trends. He remained true to his style, which gave him authenticity and longevity. By the 1990s, Tony Bennett had achieved what few artists could, a full-fledged comeback. His MTV Unplugged special in 1994 introduced him to a whole new audience of young listeners. The live album MTV Unplugged, Tony Bennett, won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. Suddenly, Tony Bennett was not just a legend of the past, he was a star in the present. In the 2000s and 2010s, Bennett continued to record and perform at an astonishing pace. He released a series of successful albums of duets with artists spanning multiple genres. His duets, An American Classic, 2006, and Duets 2, 2011, featured collaborations with legends like Paul McCartney, Elton John, Aretha Franklin, and contemporary stars like Lady Gaga, John Mayer, and Amy Winehouse. These projects were both commercial and critical successes, reaffirming his universal appeal. His partnership with Lady Gaga was especially significant. Their 2014 album, Cheek to Cheek, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 and won a Grammy Award. Their friendship and artistic chemistry symbolized the way Bennett bridged generations, connecting the golden age of jazz to the modern era. Even as he battled Alzheimer's disease in his final years, Tony continued to perform with Gaga, touching audiences with his strength and grace. Tony Bennett was more than just a singer, he was an artist in the truest sense. His interpretations of jazz and pop standards were marked by clarity, warmth, and emotional honesty. He often said that his goal was to honor the song, letting the lyrics and melody shine rather than overshadowing them with vocal acrobatics. This humility and respect for the music made him a favorite among songwriters and musicians. In addition to music, Bennett was also a talented painter. He signed his artwork with his birth name, Benedetto, and exhibited his paintings in galleries around the world. His love for visual art mirrored his love for music. Both were expressions of beauty, discipline, and truth. Over his career, Bennett sold more than 50 million records worldwide. He won 20 Grammy Awards, including a Lifetime Achievement Award and 2 Primetime Emmy Awards. In 2001, he was inducted into the Big Band and Jazz Hall of Fame. In 2005, the Kennedy Center honored him for his contributions to American culture. In 2006, he was named a United Nations Ambassador of the Arts. Few artists have been so universally celebrated. Bennett was married 3 times and had 4 children. Despite the ups and downs of his personal life, his devotion to his family remained strong. In later years, he lived quietly with his 3rd wife, Susan Crowe, who cared for him during his battle with Alzheimer's. His family often spoke of his optimism, kindness, and humility, qualities that endeared him to everyone he met. In 2016, Bennett publicly revealed that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Despite the challenges, he continued to perform for several years, showing extraordinary courage and determination. His final public performances, alongside Lady Gaga in 2021, were celebrated as a triumph of spirit and artistry. When he passed away in July 2023 at the age of 96, tributes poured in from around the world. Musicians, politicians, and fans alike remembered him as a voice of hope, joy, and timeless beauty. Tony Bennett's legacy is immeasurable. He was not just a singer of songs, he was a custodian of American musical heritage. He bridged generations, proving that true artistry never goes out of style. His resilience in the face of personal and professional struggles showed the world that reinvention is always possible. And his kindness and humility made him beloved not only as an artist but as a human being. Tony Bennett lived 96 remarkable years, filled with music, love, and dedication to his craft. His voice carried us through joy and sorrow, reminding us of the beauty of simple truths sung with sincerity. Though he has passed on, his recordings, his paintings, and his spirit continue to inspire. He left his heart not just in San Francisco, but with everyone who had the privilege of hearing him sing. Rest in peace, Tony Bennett. Your music will never fade, it will live forever. Paul Reubens, born Paul Rubenfeld on August 27, 1952, in Peekskill, New York, was a beloved actor, comedian, writer, and producer best known for creating the iconic character Pee-wee Herman. With his eccentric charm, childlike wonder, and playful humor, Reubens became a pop culture phenomenon, capturing the hearts of children and adults alike. His passing in July 2023, at the age of 70, following a private battle with cancer, marked the end of an era for millions who grew up with Pee-wee's zany world of fun and imagination. Reubens grew up in Sarasota, Florida, in a Jewish family with strong artistic and intellectual values. His father, Milton Rubenfeld, had served as a World War II pilot and later became one of the founding pilots of the Israeli Air Force, while his mother, Judy, was a dedicated teacher. Growing up in Sarasota, Paul was exposed to the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus headquarters, which sparked his fascination with performance, color, and spectacle. As a child, he became interested in theater and comedy, often performing skits and entertaining his family. He attended Sarasota High School and later Boston University before transferring to the California Institute of the Arts, CalArts, where he studied theater. At CalArts, he sharpened his comedic instincts and developed a love for improvisation and character work, skills that would define his career. In the late 1970s, Reubens became a member of the Los Angeles-based improv group The Groundlings, where he met future stars like Phil Hartman, Cassandra Peterson, Elvira, and John Paragon. It was during this time that Reubens created the character Pee-wee Herman, a quirky, childlike man in a gray suit, red bow tie, and flat-top haircut. Pee-wee was part innocent, part mischievous, and all unique. The character quickly became a hit in the LA comedy scene. In 1980, Reubens developed the Pee-wee Herman Show, a stage production that played to packed houses and was eventually broadcast on HBO. The show's surreal humor, bizarre supporting characters, and infectious energy made Pee-wee a sensation. With his trademark giggle and catchphrases like, "I know you are, but what am I?" Pee-wee Herman became a cultural icon almost overnight. Reubens' creation leapt to the big screen in 1985 with Pee-wee's Big Adventure, directed by a then-unknown Tim Burton. The offbeat road trip comedy followed Pee-wee on a quest to find his stolen bicycle and became an instant cult classic. The film's whimsical style and quirky humor connected with audiences, and Burton's surreal direction paired perfectly with Reubens' vision. The movie's success cemented Pee-wee as a household name and launched Tim Burton's directing career. Reubens followed up with Big Top Pee-wee in 1988. While not as critically acclaimed as its predecessor, the film kept Pee-wee in the spotlight and entertained fans eager for more of the eccentric character. During this period, Pee-wee Herman merchandise, dolls, and lunchboxes filled toy store shelves, reflecting his status as a pop culture phenomenon. In 1986, CBS launched Pee-wee's Playhouse, a Saturday morning children's television program that ran for 5 seasons. With its vibrant sets, talking furniture, puppets, and guest stars, the show became a cultural landmark. It was groundbreaking in its inclusivity, featuring a diverse cast and subtly embedding progressive messages about kindness, acceptance, and creativity. The show earned 22 Emmy Awards and developed a devoted fanbase that spanned generations. Children adored Pee-wee's goofy antics, while adults appreciated the show's clever writing, surreal humor, and subtle social commentary. Characters like Cherry, Conky the Robot, and Cowboy Curtis, played by a young Lawrence Fishburne, became iconic in their own right. Pee-wee's Playhouse was not just entertainment, it was a safe, imaginative world where everyone was welcome and where creativity knew no bounds. Reubens' creation encouraged children to embrace their individuality and imagination, lessons that resonated deeply. Reubens' career, however, was not without turbulence. In 1991, he was arrested in Florida on charges of indecent exposure, an incident that generated massive media attention. The scandal temporarily derailed his career and led to Pee-wee Herman disappearing from the public eye. In 2002, he faced additional charges related to the ownership of vintage adult material, though they were later dropped. Despite these controversies, many fans and colleagues stood by Reubens, recognizing his immense talent and creativity. Over time, he gradually re-emerged, demonstrating resilience and a determination to move forward. Reubens made a slow but steady comeback in the late 1990s and 2000s. He took on character roles in films like Batman Returns, 1992, where he played the Penguin's father, and Blow, 2001, where he delivered a memorable performance as Derek For Real, a flamboyant drug dealer. These roles showcased his versatility beyond Pee-wee Herman. In 2010, Reubens revived the Pee-wee Herman show on Broadway, reintroducing the character to audiences with updated material that still retained the original magic. The revival was a hit, earning rave reviews and reminding the world of Pee-wee's enduring appeal. In 2016, Netflix released Pee-wee's Big Holiday, a new film produced by Judd Apatow. The movie was well received by fans, proving that Pee-wee still had the power to entertain in the modern era. Reubens' ability to slip back into the role decades later demonstrated his dedication and love for the character. Paul Reubens was famously private about his personal life. He never married and kept much of his romantic life out of the public eye. Instead, he focused on his work, his friendships, and his creative projects. He remained close with many of his Groundlings colleagues and was deeply respected within the entertainment industry. Unknown to the public, Reubens battled cancer for 6 years. He chose to keep his diagnosis private, continuing to work and entertain while quietly fighting the disease. After his passing, a statement released by his estate revealed his gratitude to fans for their support and love throughout his career. His decision to keep his illness private reflected his desire to be remembered for his art and joy rather than his suffering. Paul Reubens' legacy is inseparable from Pee-wee Herman, a character that remains one of the most original and enduring creations in American pop culture. Pee-wee's world of imagination, silliness, and joy touched millions of children, while his subtle wit and layered humor entertained adults. Few performers have managed to create something so universally beloved. Beyond Pee-wee, Reubens proved himself a talented and versatile actor, capable of delivering both comedic and dramatic performances. He inspired generations of comedians, actors, and writers who admired his fearlessness and originality. Paul Reubens was more than a man in a gray suit and red bow tie. He was a visionary who reminded us of the importance of laughter, imagination, and embracing our quirks. His passing in 2023 was a heartbreaking loss, but his creations live on, continuing to bring joy to those discovering Pee-wee Herman for the first time and to those who grew up with him. Rest in peace, Paul Reubens. Thank you for giving the world a place where imagination had no limits and where everyone could feel like a kid again. Today, we celebrate one of Hollywood's greatest living treasures, a man whose career has spanned over 70 years and whose work has defined American cinema across multiple generations. Robert Duvall, born in 1931, is not only an Academy Award-winning actor but a true craftsman of his art. With his unforgettable performances in films like The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, and Tender Mercies, Duvall has built a legacy that continues to inspire actors, directors, and audiences alike. In this long tribute, we will journey through his extraordinary life, from his early beginnings to his rise as one of the most respected actors of all time. Robert Seldon Duvall was born on January 5, 1931, in San Diego, California. His father, William Howard Duvall, was a U.S. Navy admiral, while his mother, Mildred Virginia, was an amateur actress. Growing up in a military household meant discipline and structure, but Robert inherited his mother's artistic sensibilities. Raised in a strict but supportive environment, he developed a fascination with performance from a young age. He attended Principia College in Illinois, where he majored in drama. After graduating in 1953, Duvall pursued acting full-time, studying at the prestigious neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater in New York City under Sanford Meisner. Meisner's emphasis on realism and emotional truth profoundly influenced Duvall's approach to acting, shaping him into a performer known for his authenticity and depth. Like many aspiring actors, Duvall struggled in the early years. He took odd jobs while auditioning for roles, including working as a clerk and a waiter. During this period, he shared apartments with future legends like Dustin Hoffman and Gene Hackman, all of them young actors scraping by and dreaming of stardom. It was a remarkable moment in time. Three friends who would later become giants of American film. Duvall began his career on stage, performing in regional theater and off-Broadway productions. His breakout role came in 1962 when he made his film debut as Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird. Though he had no lines, his haunting performance as the mysterious recluse left a powerful impression and set the stage for a career defined by subtlety and intensity. Throughout the 1960s, Duvall steadily built his reputation, appearing in films such as Bullitt, 1968, with Steve McQueen, and True Grit, 1969, opposite John Wayne. His ability to embody complex characters made him a sought-after actor. The 1970s marked the golden era of his career. In 1972, he played Tom Hagen, the quiet and calculating consigliere, in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. The role earned him his first Academy Award nomination and introduced him to a global audience. Duvall reprised the role in The Godfather Part II, 1974, further solidifying his place in cinematic history. In 1979, he delivered one of his most iconic performances in Apocalypse Now, playing Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore. With his now famous line, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning," Duvall created one of the most memorable characters in war film history. The role earned him another Oscar nomination and became a defining moment of his career. In the 1980s, Duvall continued to demonstrate his extraordinary range. He appeared in films such as The Great Santini, 1979, where he played a tough Marine pilot struggling with his role as a father. His performance earned him critical acclaim and another Academy Award nomination. But it was Tender Mercies, 1983, that finally brought him Oscar glory. Playing Max Sledge, a washed-up country singer seeking redemption and peace, Duvall delivered a performance of quiet power and emotional truth. The role won him the Academy Award for Best Actor and remains one of the most celebrated performances of his career. Duvall also showcased his musical talent by singing the film's songs himself, further proving his versatility. Duvall never slowed down. In the 1990s, he appeared in critically acclaimed films like Days of Thunder, 1990, Falling Down, 1993, and The Apostle, 1997. The Apostle, which Duvall also wrote, directed, and produced, was a passion project that earned him yet another Academy Award nomination. His portrayal of a charismatic yet flawed preacher was hailed as a tour de force and demonstrated his ability to command both sides of the camera. In the 2000s and beyond, Duvall continued to deliver memorable performances in films such as A Civil Action, 1998, Open Range, 2003, Crazy Heart, 2009, and The Judge, 2014, the last of which earned him his 7th Academy Award nomination. At the age of 83, he became the oldest actor ever nominated for Best Supporting Actor, proving that his talent had not diminished with time. In addition to his film work, Duvall made significant contributions to television. His performance in the miniseries Lonesome Dove, 1989, as Augustus Gus McCrae earned him widespread acclaim and a Golden Globe Award. The role is often cited as one of the greatest portrayals in television history and remains a fan favorite. Duvall brought humor, humanity, and gravitas to the character, cementing his place as a master of both the big and small screen. Despite his fame, Duvall has always maintained a relatively private life. He has been married multiple times and, since 2005, has been married to Argentine actress and director Luciana Pedraza. The couple shares a love for tango, often performing the dance together and even producing a documentary about it. Their relationship reflects Duvall's passion for both art and personal connection. Duvall is known for his down-to-earth personality and straightforward philosophy about acting. He has often said that his goal is to make audiences believe in the truth of his characters, no matter how big or small the role. He avoids pretension and focuses on authenticity, a quality that has defined his career. Robert Duvall's contributions to cinema have been recognized with numerous awards. In addition to his Academy Award win and multiple nominations, he has received Golden Globe Awards, a BAFTA, and an Emmy. In 2005, he was awarded the National Medal of Arts by President George W. Bush, and in 2011, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His peers consistently praise him as one of the greatest actors of his generation. Directors and actors alike describe him as a consummate professional who brings depth, nuance, and humanity to every role. Robert Duvall's life and career are a testament to dedication, authenticity, and artistry. From his humble beginnings to his status as a Hollywood legend, he has remained true to his craft, delivering performances that continue to move and inspire. At over 90 years old, Duvall is still with us, a living reminder of cinema's golden age and its continuing evolution. He is not just an actor, he is a storyteller, a craftsman, and a legend. As we honor Robert Duvall, we celebrate not only the films he has given us but the example he has set for generations of artists. His story is far from over, and his legacy will endure as long as there are audiences who cherish the art of film. Thank you, Robert Duvall, for a lifetime of unforgettable performances. You are truly a living Hollywood legend.